Durham and Raphael. How can film be used to have a positive impact against police killings?
First off, thank you all for coming here. It's really important that everybody's here and that we're engaging in this conversation, because we can make films as much as we want, but if we're not interfacing with the community, it doesn't matter. Now, my production company has dedicated our mission to doing this. We use film, to answer your question, the same way that the pioneers and activists have been doing it since the 1960s and the 70s. To answer that question, a lot of Chicano filmmakers, especially here from the Mission District, from Central California, from all of California and the Southwest, were part of a larger movement, an international movement that was called Third Cinema. And Third Cinema was started in Argentina, and literally there were films that were shown in the theaters, and people, after seeing these films, went outside and literally caused revolutions that took back their countries from dictators that were murdering people. Los desaparecidos is what they were called. So the Third Cinema movement began to spread all around the globe. It was really inspired by Che Guevara and Che Guevara's concept of the Tricontinental Revolution. And that really is Asia, Latin America, and Africa joining together and using art and media to really liberate ourselves from colonizers, as my sister was saying here. Now, this film and many of the projects that we do really operate within that legacy and that mode of expression. So many of the images that you see that are actually hidden in the actual narrative, that are little flashes and breakouts, are really meant and designed to remind you of that legacy, because we have to remember the trials and tribulations that our ancestors and that our OGs and all of our mentors had to go through in order to not repeat those same mistakes. Now, this unfortunately is not the first film I've had to make about somebody who's been killed and try to heal the community using cinema. It's very important because that is the power of cinema. I had a personal friend who was murdered in Seattle. He was an Ethiopian store owner, and he was murdered by a young African-American man. I knew both of them, both parties involved. And really it was a case study that I used for my master's fine arts thesis at San Francisco State University. And I returned back home, where I'm originally from. And we produced a film for the family of that particular young man and his family, the same way that we did it for Alex and the family, the Nieto family here. And the real goal was to create a safe space to have a conversation about these issues. And what I have learned through my research is I actually used the Castro District and the Mission District as an example, because this was one of the first neighborhoods that really started getting gentrified and studied in the entire country. And Seattle is very similar. I don't need to tell all of you that. It's the same issues, just different communities. And one thing that I noticed was there was a large population of young men of color who were extremely alienated in their own communities, couldn't feel like they could stand on their own corners, because they felt that they were either going to get harassed by the police, harassed by business owners who wanted white customers, or they wanted to literally get pushed out of bus stops because they were traveling from the south side of the city to the north side of the city, and there are those invisible borders that they try to maintain through various institutions, public institutions in these cities. Now this became a platform that we use to try to heal people. And literally, in some cases, unfortunately, in Oakland, I work in Oakland now with young men of color, part of the Black Lives and Brown Lives Matter campaign, which Ethan we can also talk about. We employ these young people and we had them work on the production for Alex Nieto because we felt it was important to bring Black and brown communities together so that they could learn from other communities that they are not formally connected to but experience the exact same things. And they were actually featured in the film as well. Now this acts as a form of therapy, if you can believe it or not. For anybody, I'm sure for Ben included, who participated in the film, it was a form of therapy because he has to revisit traumatic incidents, and that helps us come to closure. And if we don't do these types of creative activities, then oftentimes that progresses to depression or post-traumatic stress disorder. So really, this is a way of treating mental health, but also healing communities on a larger scale.